I'm Erik Burke. I play guitar and drums in a bunch of metal bands, such as Sulaco, Blurring. I play Nuclear Assault. I have a new band called Sully. And in the past, I've been fortunate enough to play with Brutal Truth and did a run with Napalm Death once, which was still gives me a boner to think about. And a bunch of whatever else I can get my finger into. So, well, it's probably the first one that really got me into playing guitar, which is a video, more or less, because 1984 had come out, 1984. But when I first saw the Unchained video for Van Halen, it's the one that is always sticks out in my head because I had my first guitar and it just fucking floored me as it did everyone else, you know. And I'd have to go with that because it literally, that's what propelled me into really wanting to sit in my room for hours and not do a fucking thing but play. I didn't try to play like Eddie, but I tried to have at least some of it, you know. Back then I wasn't into the lead playing. I was more into the riff playing, and his riffs are awesome. So and his leads are obviously the best. So, well, that really kicked into gear for me, and I'm pretty sure it was 1986 when Master of Puppets, Rain and Blood, and Crossover were out. And a buddy of mine, I always go to this one thought because it was the one thing that's changed me from some of the, like, listening to Rat and stuff like that. You know, I was into some of the hair metal stuff, and I was into some Maiden, and but when I heard this mixtape that had 5-Year Plan, Angel of Death, and I think it was Disposable Heroes, it just, everything switched gears again, you know. It was like, I still love all that other shit, but as far as what I wanted to do was like, holy fuck, this is the real shit, you know. Like, and there was a great variety of stuff in all three of those bands, you know. Like, DRI had the brutal thrash. Like, I don't need to explain. It's just, it's what took me to the next part, you know. And then I think with Obituary and Deicide a few years later, I was frightened, you know, when I heard some of that shit, but I was beyond intrigued, you know. It was like, I remember when I first heard Deicide and Glenn Benton screaming Satan, and I didn't know shit about Satan or G or whatever, and all that shit. It was ridiculous, but fucking, it was the greatest thing I ever heard. And like, I remember listening to it at my girlfriend's house and thinking, her parents probably think I'm a fucking wacko because this guy's screaming Satan, but I didn't have anything to do with that shit, you know. It was just fucking awesome, dude. That album is still fucking awesome. I got a chance to meet Steve too, and he was fucking awesome. So I was having a total fanboy moment when I met him, because the last time, I haven't seen him play since '92 in Buffalo, and that was for the Legion tour, and I got it on video, and it's one of the greatest fucking live sets ever. His banter between the songs is hilarious and brutal. And his mic gets knocked into his face, and he fucking freaks out, and his hair goes crazy, and he's like, "Bring that fucker to me!" And it's like the greatest thing. I got the best samples, man. It's fucking priceless, dude. I guess just how big it's gotten. I mean, and there's a million subgenres now and stuff, and it's a lot of stuff that I don't really pay much mind to. I like a lot of the throwback stuff that's going on now with a lot of these death metal bands coming out that are kind of not having that polished production, and it's a little more raw and in your face, and so I like a lot of those bands, but I guess just as a whole that it's just giant, you know. I mean, back when we were doing it, it wasn't anything in the 90s, you know. A lot of those bands that are playing giant places now, like Corpse and shit, you know, they were playing the clubs like the Penny Arcade, you know. They could never play a place like that now. It'd be insane, you know. Yeah, I guess it's just the overall popularity, because I used to get frowned at, you know. Why would you fucking play that shit? What's the fucking point? And it's like, because it's what's in here, you know. It's why I fucking do it. It makes me feel awesome when I play. So, and then if other people can listen to my stuff and they are into it as well, it's fucking tenfold then, you know. You want to explode inside when someone likes your shit, or even when they don't, it's cool that you hit a nerve. You know, it's like it doesn't matter. It's just sound. It's just a bunch of noise. So it's just fun to make it. You know, fuck, man. It is pretty night and day these days. I mean, it seems like with like pop bands, everyone's just a pop band in their bedroom now. You know, everyone just produces everything, and it's on a fucking computer. I still don't have a computer, and everything sounds perfect and polished and tuned, and that death metal is a little more of like well, not all of it, because you got dudes that do that shit too. You know, that write all their riffs into their computer and move shit around and stuff like that. There's no shame in that, but it's. I mean, I don't know how to use a computer, so I could never do anything like that. So I don't even understand it. So I don't know. I guess it's just I'm still very bare bones, so I don't even know if I can answer that correctly. But like the difference between me and any of that is just I have more a Neanderthal approach still to doing things, where I'm still like taping things and not going into a computer and moving stuff around. And I have to look at videos all the time of riffs that I've written over the last 2 years and forget about them. And so I don't know. That's probably not the right answer. I don't know. I tried, John. It seems like a lot of this extreme music is built around like drummers and shit, because like all these drummers these days, you know, they're doing this and that, and they're doing this, and there's lots of things going on, and there's 40,000 beats a minute, and I was like, man, like some of that shit's just too much. It's like too much for me. Like I like the grind beats to sit back a little more and to sit in the song, right? You know, so you're hearing everything, that's because everything's produced so nice, and there's 50,000 bass drums in this. But there are some bands that do it so tastefully, like Cattle Decapitation. I love them. I mean, that last album is fucking brilliant. So it's like I feel like that is like almost the pinnacle of as extreme as like I would want it. But extreme could be taken a lot of different ways. You know, there's like the porno grind genre. That alone is just extreme. You know, like, and I'm not really much into that. But I guess I think of extreme as like just speed and fast. You know, like. But it can be taken a lot of different ways. Maybe my take is old school or something, you know. I don't know, but I don't know. I like that things are kind of, with some of these throwback bands, are starting to slow down a little bit. I don't know. These guys will probably figure out how to grind even faster and like grow, you know, attach a fucking stick to their dick or something and gravity blast that. I don't fucking know. I mean, but they're also talented. I don't get it. I mean, like, same with guitar players. They're all over YouTube. Everyone can fucking play everything. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. This shit is intense. But it is brutal, you know? Oh, it's got to be the friendships and the friendships most of all. And me getting to being able to travel, and that's a lot to do with Danny Lilker, because when I joined Nuke, I did go on a couple tours before that with the band I used to drum in called Calabas, and that was when I got my real first taste in getting out on the road, and I loved it. I didn't want to do it all the time. But I just loved being in a town that wasn't here, that was not even in the Northeast, because that's the only places I had ever been, you know. So as soon as we got out west, it got to be a lot of fun because it was so different, you know. And then like a lot of those states that don't have shit in them, you're driving for fucking ever and there's nothing there, and then you're almost to the West Coast, and you go up into this mountain, and then it's a snowstorm, and then you go down, and it's fucking raining, and it's Seattle. Like, I don't even understand how anyone lives over here. It's so fucking odd, but it was fucking great, and all the shows were great. And that's where the friendships parts come in, is that I've met a lot of people playing in bands anytime I've played out or whatever, and this is the good part about Facebook, is that I keep in contact with some of these people, and it's cool to be able to make new friends like that. I met this guy named Gaston in Argentina, and I was down there with Nuke, and he came up to me and was telling me about all the bands I'm in Rochester, and then all the bands that are from Rochester. So this dude had like an investment in the scene up here, and the more we talked, he has been following my music for a while, and I'm like, how the fuck does anyone in Argentina know even my name? Or because I don't know, I try not to float a boat or anything, man. I just try and write music that makes me feel good, and fucking it just blows my mind. And I'll talk to him, and I'll fucking start tearing up just because the guy's so fucking great, and it's so cool to it's it, the fact that you can connect like that with someone, and now you're bros. It's fucking cool. You don't do this shit for girls or any of that stupid shit. I definitely don't do it for money, and I do it. It's basically for that, so you can fucking hang out with a bunch of dudes in black t-shirts and fucking smoke a little weed out in the parking lot and fucking chum it down, and be like, dude, your new record sounds sick. What are you up to? And just fucking, it's awesome, man. People in our shit they want to fucking high five and want to give you a sweaty hug and want to fucking and want to make it deeper, So it's cool. Well, you got to find that if they actually wanted to do it, that means they heard a sound in a song or a band or a vocal or something that created that feeling, obviously. So you gotta, I would think you gotta, what do you want to try and do? Do you want to sing? Do you want to fucking play guitar? Do you want to play bass? I don't know. I guess you got to figure out why you like it, And then if you really want to pursue it, you gotta have a friend, because that's what it's all about. I had a buddy of mine, Sulaco played. We opened for Mastodon. I think it was whatever. It doesn't matter what fucking year it was, but it was here at Anthology. And 2 days later, I got a message through Facebook Messenger, and it was this guy Jerry, and he's just out of nowhere. He's like, I saw Sulaco play. I never heard of you guys before, and I really enjoyed the style, and I'm trying to get into playing guitar, and I was just wondering if maybe you could give me some lessons or something, and I don't know fucking shit about playing guitar. I barely know the letters on the fucking strings. I just know how to make sound with it, and I'm a one-trick pony. I can't fucking play. I've tried doing other bands that are more rocky, and it turns right into a fucking grindcore song, or it turns into fucking something else, and I just can't veer. I'm on a fucking train to nowhere, and but so I told him that. I said, look, man, I can't give you like technical fucking lessons or anything, but I could show you a few tunes. I could show you just a couple little things that I do. And I wound up showing him some stuff, and I think some of it stuck, but we jammed for a while. And he's been, and after that itch that he said that I helped him scratch, he's like jams with a drummer now, and he's got a few guitars, and he's got, he invested in the gear, and so so that felt really good that I helped him, because he had been wanting to kind of pursue it more over the years. He had a guitar, but he wasn't really doing anything with it, and he wasn't completely unjammed, like he had jammed a little bit, but not really. But it was great to help him get going, and yeah, I can't teach anyone anything. I can't even fucking. I have hard enough time reading tab or doing whatever. I can't even write tab. Ask Lon. I write it all backwards. These guys, I feel for all these guys. They got to deal with me.